On this, I've been meditating on this class for a while. It's well, on my calendar, our calendar in Switzerland, tomorrow is Durga Puja. It's a celebration for Durga Devi, and so I'm giving this class in honor of Mother Durga. And my intention is to, as we did on Lord Shiva's appearance day, we gave a class on Lord Shiva, not so much to worship Lord Shiva in the sense of as a god, yet to honor Lord Shiva and to try and understand his relationship with Krishna, to try and understand what's happening in the heart of Lord Shiva. So that's what I want to do today, to share some of my research on Mother Durga, and then go into, well, what is her relationship to Krishna? What is her service?
She can speak closer to the, yeah, she can be aware that she's not being.
Anandini, I think we have the volume up as much as possible. If you could either speak closer to the mic or, yeah, just so we can hear your voice fully.
Okay, well, maybe it's better if I put the headphones. Do you hear me better?
She has to speak loud.
Is it possible to transfer the speaker to the TV?
Maybe I'm not sure how.
Okay.
It probably is.
I think I can.
Okay, we're working.
I won't mess anything up.
Yeah, I also don't hear too well.
That's good.
How is the volume now?
Yeah, that worked.
Is that better? Do you hear me better?
It's if you could speak louder if possible.
Right.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I'm trying to adjust
working
here.
on
Is it
something from this?
Is the sound better?
When Ladini spoke, it was very it was loud.
Okay, I'll challenge them to speak loud.
There we go. That was good. That's good.
That's good? That's better?
Yeah, that's good now. That's good.
Okay.
How does he want?
It's not on the TV, but it's good.
Good.
Okay, yeah. So Durga Devi, I want to share my research on Durga Devi and some of my realizations and contemplations, and then also invite for a conversation. So I'll start with a short introduction of why I'm going into this topic. And well, I have a lifelong resistance to the material world and to some of the things that are happening, like war, hunger, suffering, pain. Why concentration camps? Why is the rainforest being cut down? So those are things that were present with me as a child, and I had a lot of resistance and confusion about it. So if there is a benevolent God, an all-loving God, why can this happen? Why can there be suffering if there is a loving God? How is this possible? Also the question, why are human beings doing these things? Why are we doing things? And I include myself. Why am I getting into a fight with my husband? Like why do we human beings do things that are painful for each other and hurtful and create suffering? And then the next question that came to me as I got older, well, how am I contributing to violence? How am I contributing to suffering in this world? So this has been an ongoing question for me and an ongoing internal torment at times. And this came to it became very strong for me at the beginning of this year, and I realized the resistance I have and the resistance to accept the suffering in the world and all the horrible things that happen. It's like if I keep this resistance, I will not be able to move on my spiritual path. I will not be able to do the service I want to do in the world. I'm not going to, that nothing's going to happen. I'm just going to stay stuck in resistance to the suffering. And I ask the question, I expressed, like, I don't know how to make sense of all this. I don't know how I can stop contributing to violence. I'm trying my best, and I just don't know. I'm just in shock, and I prefer just not to know any of this. That would be better. And then Dira Govinda, he said to me, well, why are you surprised? Why are you surprised that there is all these horrible things happening in the world? Because we're stuck in the prison house. There's this huge existence, the material, the spiritual, like the spiritual realm. That's like existence is mainly spiritual world. Souls who are dancing and singing with God, with Krishna. That's what most living entities do, like the majority. And there's a little tiny part, like a few souls who don't sing and dance with Krishna, with God, because they're in the prison house. And that really shook me. Okay, yes, let me accept. I'm in the prison house of this whole existence. I'm in this tiny little cluster of universes that is called the material world. And in that realm, there is bondage, and there is forgetfulness of Krishna. There is a disconnection to love. Essentially, there's a disconnection to love, and there's like free will is used in ways that just cause suffering and torment and agony. Let me accept this as the first step. This is where I am. Let me start where I'm at. I'm in the prison house. And I noticed, oh, my contribution to violence is mainly apathy. Like, I see what's happening in the world. I see some of the stuff that's happening in my own heart, which is no contradictory to love and acceptance and surrender. And I just respond with apathy, like pretending it doesn't really exist, pretending I don't really know what to do. There's nothing I can change about it. This is just how it is. And that's my main contribution, just watching things happening, watching our neighbor who's a farmer taking the calves away from the cows as soon as they're born. And I'm just watching it and feeling some pain and just not doing much about it. And I can name 100 other things where I'm just watching and observing, like a conflict between friends or a conflict in my own family, and I'm not doing anything about it. I'm not expressing anything. That's all contribution to violence, just being an observer of it, while having knowledge. Like, I'm trained in communication. I have knowledge how to solve a conflict. So by withholding this knowledge and this ability, I'm allowing it to happen. And yeah, just the fact that I feel pain when I see pain in the world, not expressing that I feel pain is also a contribution. I'm not expressing my sensitivity or my soft heart or my compassion. So I thought, I came to this, okay, let me accept. I'm willing to accept. I'm in the prison house, and there is a reason why I'm here. It's not a mistake. It's not just, oh, Krishna made a mistake and Anandini, the jiva of Anandini, landed in this material body. No, I have contributed to being here. And well, let me go and find out how I can get out. So, like in a prison, there's the prisoners, and there's someone in charge of the prison. So I want to go and find out who is in charge, and I'm going to say, I want rehabilitation. I accept. I made whatever I did. I landed in prison. My responsibility and the way I want to respond from now on is not just simply accept the prison house and be in apathy. I'm ready to be active. I'm ready for rehabilitation, and like serious rehabilitation, not just trying to climb the ladder within the prison so that I get a little bit of freedom in the prison, that I might get a few hours off to go into town and then go back to prison. No, I want to get completely out of the prison. And that's what I want to learn. And well, where do I learn this? I have been reading Bhagavad Gita for wow, almost like 18 years, and chanting and doing all this purification of the heart, and I want more. Like I was connecting with urgency. I want this to move faster. I want this to move faster. And I understood, okay, well, the person in charge of the prison house is Durga Devi, Mother Durga. She and I got curious to really explore Durga as a personality and to relate to her as a personality. So this was a bit a long introduction. So we're going to go to Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse 14. So we'll do some Sanskrit recitation of the verse and then go into the translation and the purport. Daivi hiesha gunamai mama maya durataya mamevaya prapadyante maya metam tarantite Daivi hiesha gunamai mama maya durataya Mamevaye prapadyante Mayam metam tarantite Daivi hiesha gunamai Mama maya duratyaya Mamevaye prapadyante Mayam metam tarantite Would anyone else like to?
Amamaya Duratyaya Amevaye Prapadyante Mayametam Tarantite
Would anyone else like to recite the verse? In person there or online?
Daivihyesha gunamayi Amma maya duratyaya Mameva ye prapadyante Maya metang tarantite
Mama Maya Durataya Mamivaye Prapadyate Mayam Tarantite
Okay, we can go to the word for word translation. Daivi, transcendental. He, certainly. Esha, this. Gunamai, consisting of the three modes of material nature. Mama, Mai, Maya, energy. Duratyaya, very difficult to overcome. Mam, unto me. Eva, certainly. Ye, those. Who, or those who, sorry. Prapadyante, surrender. Mayamitam,
Mayadikam.
This illusory energy.
This illusory energy.
Taranti.
Taranti.
Overcome.
Overcome.
Te.
They.
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 Translation. This divine energy of mine, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. And purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has innumerable energies, and all these energies are divine. Although the living entities are part of his energies and are therefore divine, due to contact with material energy, their original superior power is covered. Being thus covered by material energy, one cannot possibly overcome its influence. As previously stated, both the material and spiritual natures, being emanations from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are eternal. The living entities belong to the eternal superior nature of the Lord, but due to contamination by the inferior nature, matter, their illusion is also eternal. The conditioned soul is therefore called Nityabada, or eternally conditioned. No one can trace out the history of his becoming conditioned at a certain date in material history. Consequently, his release from the clutches of material nature is very difficult, even though that material nature is an inferior energy, because material energy is ultimately conducted by the Supreme Will, which the living entity cannot overcome. Inferior material nature is defined herein as divine nature due to its divine connection and movement by the divine will. Being conducted by divine will, material nature, although inferior, acts so wonderfully in the construction and deconstruction of the cosmic manifestation. The Vedas confirm this as follows: Mayam tu prakritim vidyan mainam tu maheshwaram. Although Maya illusion is false or temporary, the background of Maya is the supreme magician, the supreme personality of Godhead, who is Maheshwar, the supreme controller. Svetashvatar Upanishad 4:10. Another meaning of guna is rope. It is to be understood that the conditioned soul is tightly tied by the ropes of illusion. A man bound by the hands and feet cannot free himself. He must be helped by a person who is unbound. Because the bound cannot help the bound, the rescuer must be liberated. Therefore, only Lord Krishna or his bona fide representative, the spiritual master, can release the conditioned soul. Without such superior help, one cannot be freed from the bondage of material nature. Devotional service or Krishna consciousness can help one gain such release. Krishna, being the Lord of the illusory energy, can order his insurmountable energy to release the conditioned soul. He orders this release out of his causeless mercy on the surrendered soul and out of his paternal affection for the living entity, who is originally a beloved son of the Lord. Therefore, surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord is the only means to get free from the clutches of the stringent material nature. The words Mam Eva are also significant. Mam means unto Krishna, Vishnu only, and not Brahma or Shiva. Although Brahma and Shiva are greatly elevated and are almost on the level of Vishnu, it is not possible for such incarnations of Rajagun, passion, and Tamagun, ignorance, to release the conditioned soul from the clutches of Maya. In other words, both Brahma and Shiva are also under the influence of Maya. Only Vishnu is the master of Maya, therefore he alone can give release to the conditioned soul. The Vedas, Svetashvatar Upanishad 3.8, confirm this in the phrase Tam eva viditva, or freedom is possible only by understanding Krishna. Even Lord Shiva affirms that liberation can be achieved only by the mercy of Vishnu. Lord Shiva says, Mukti Pradatta, Sarvesham Vishnur Evana Samsaya. There is no doubt that Vishnu is the deliverer of liberation for everyone. So I'm going to recite some more verses to help me connect, well, hopefully with the essence of the message of Krishna and Srila Prabhupada, so that I may represent it without my own interpretations, and I welcome you to join me if you want. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanjana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishvabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evaja Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Prajarine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vaschatya So I was considering actually to start with Brahma Samhita, and I decided to start with Bhagavad Gita. So here we read about Maya, we hear about Maya, the material energy. And Maya is the energy of Durga. Durga is conducting and arranging and controlling the material energy, and she's the warden of the prison house, the place we are in, the place we are stuck in. And who is Maya? I will read the verse from Brahma Samhita I was considering to start with. I'll read it now. And it's Brahma Samhita 544. And Lord Brahma, he sings, the external potency Maya, who is of the nature of the shadow of the Chit potency, is worshipped by all people as Durga, the creating, preserving, and destroying agency of this mundane world. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, in accordance with whose will Durga conducts herself. So here we understand Maya, who that's how Lord Krishna presents the principles of the prison house to us by introducing Maya as his energy. And as we go into Srila Prabhupada's teachings and also here into Brahma Samhita, and there is actually a beautiful purport to this verse by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, we get to understand more and more, like the more we go into it, we understand how everything is personal. There's nothing, just an energy. Like all the energies come from a personality. So the energy of Maya, the material nature, comes from the personality of Durga. And Durga, she's a servant of Krishna. She just does what Krishna, what Govinda, what Krishna orders, and she will do it. So in the purport to the verse, we learn the way to get out of the prison is to approach Vishnu, to approach Krishna, to get to know Krishna. And then that will awaken our desire to associate with Krishna. Once we get to know God, well, that's my assumption and belief and experience. The more I get to know God and who He is, the personality He is, and the sweetness of His heart, the more I just want to associate with Him. And so that's what's recommended, to get to know Krishna. And still, I was curious to get to know Durga a little better, and I will share a bit of what I found. Durga as a servant of Krishna. So she she's actually like a protector. So there's the whole existence of the spiritual world. That's like what's natural for most living entities is to be in the spiritual world, as I said, to sing and dance with Krishna, with God. And then there's a few who decide, well, let me somehow enjoy and have some fun separated from Krishna. And for those who have that desire, and it said it just needs, like, it can be a tiny little weeny desire, and then we can go to the prison house, we can go to the playground. It's like, okay, you want to have some time without mom and dad, go to the playground and play, and well, see what it's like. And then there's certain rules. There are certain rules for protection. And Mother Durga, she's in charge of the protection. It's described that actually this universe, I mean, we are in one universe and there are innumerable material universes. So one universe is described as a mustard seed. And then we have a mustard seed in a big bag. That's the material world. So like innumerable universes. And each universe is covered. It's like safely protected by 7 layers, and each layer is like 10 times thicker than the other one, and it's all like impossible to get out of the universe. And Durga, she's in charge of that. She's in charge of all of that, and there's laws, and when these laws of material nature, then the laws of Krishna are transgressed, are not kept, then we burn ourselves, we get hurt, and then there's suffering, then there's misery. And Durga she's actually described also in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam when Krishna when Krishna appeared in our universe, on our planet, the planet we're on. When he appeared, Maya, Maya Devi appeared also the same night. She appeared as the daughter of Yashoda, and Krishna appeared as the son of Devaki. And in order to protect Krishna, the children were exchanged. So Vasudeva took Krishna to Vrindavan to Mother Yashoda, and he took Mother Yashoda's daughter and took her back to Devaki. And then the moment Kamsa came to kill the child, she revealed herself as Maya Devi, Mahamaya. And it's described there, Lord Krishna expressed, okay. Lord Krishna blessed, this is from the 10th canto, Lord Krishna blessed Maya Devi by saying, in different places on the surface of the earth, people will give you different names, such as Durga, Bhadrakali, Vijaya, Vaishnavi, Kumuda, Kandika, Krishna, Madhavi, Kanyaka, Maya, Narayani, Ishani, Sharada, and Ambika. So that's how Maya Devi appeared, and Krishna blessed her by giving her, like, you will appear in different places on the earth with different names. And then in the purport, Srila Prabhupada goes into the different names and how they have different meanings. And I'm not going to go into that now because I think it will take too much time. So that's how Durga appears in our world. Krishna arranged that she appears to us, and she has different. She's actually like approached, and this is not something I grew up with or that's familiar to me, to approach a demigod. That to approach like a demigod, like Durga or Shiva or Ganesha to get something. Yet in principle, that's what I learned too. Like, I have a material desire, and I endeavor for a material desire, or I even pray for something. For a nice home or a nice job or the children, or any. It's in essence, it's if we have a material desire and we endeavor for it, that is approaching a demigod. So I didn't grow up with any demigods, yet I grew up with, go after your material desires and manifest them. So that's Durga. She's in charge of that, and she will fulfill she will fulfill the desires. And yet all the desires that we get from Mother Durga, they are within the realm of the gunas. They are within the realm of the material energy. And that means there's always a reaction. There's always a reaction. So whatever we do, desire for, something will come back. And as in the prison house, there might be like a place in the prison where those are who murdered someone, and they don't have a lot of freedom. Like maybe they're on their own in a cell. And then there are those who maybe did less severe crimes and they have a little more freedom. They can maybe associate with each other, so they can have visitors. And then there are others who, with even less severe crimes, they might even get. And when I went to school, one of my classmates, his dad was in prison because he didn't in Switzerland. Every man needs to go to military service. And he refused. He didn't want to go, and he wasn't ready to pay. That's like an option. If you don't do the military service, you pay, or you do civil service. But he didn't want to do anything, and so he had to go to prison. But because it wasn't a crime, really, he didn't hurt anyone. He just had to go there at night. So during the day, he could go to his job. At night, he had to go to prison. So there's different levels of prison. And whenever we have like a material desire, Durga will give it to us. And according to the desire, is it tamasic, rajasic, or sattvic? Like that, we go to a different compartment of the prison. Either we have more liberty, more freedom, or we'll have less. And yet it's all within the prison. It's all within the prison house. There's no real freedom. And what I'm understanding about Mother Durga is that, well, she's a mother. A mother is loving. A mother loves her children, and she's ready to be really fierce if the children act in a way that's harmful for them or for others. And so that's what Mother Durga does. What she actually wants, that's my understanding of what I read and researched, actually what she wants is for all the living entities to wake up from illusion. She wants her children to say, "Mom, I don't want you. I don't want your illusion. I don't want the illusion that you're giving me. I want to get out of illusion. I want to wake up to who I am as a servant of God, of Krishna. I want to wake up to the unconditional love and the unconditional bliss that is actually available to each spirit soul, to each living entity." That's what Mother Durga wants. And yet she's not like forcing it. She's just, I'm understanding it as like she's present, and she goes, "Okay, little girl, little boy, little child, you have this desire, here you can have it." And even like have a desire to, I don't know, exploit someone. It's actually painful for the spirit soul to do that because it's contradictory to the nature of the spirit soul. And Mother Durga, what she does is, okay, you can do it, and I will even cover it. I will cover you. I will help you be numb to the pain. I will help you not experience the pain, so you can really like get the illusion that it's actually enjoyable what you're doing. So that's what she does. And she's fully conscious, like she knows what she's doing, and she's serving Krishna, she's helping Krishna, and is ready, like whenever there is a tiny little desire in one of the spirit souls to wake up, she's ready to release them. So she's ready to release us. And yeah, she wants us to go and apply for rehabilitation. She's joyful about it. Oh, you want rehabilitation? Okay, let's go for it. I'm here to help you. And then that's what Krishna says in the verse in Bhagavad Gita, and what Srila Prabhupada then explains more about it. Like, it's impossible for us to just get out of prison. Yet if we approach like Krishna, if we approach Mother Durga, if we have a desire to get out of the prison and to serve Krishna and to wake up to the bliss that is available to us, she's ready to release us. Like she's more than happy to release us. She might test us. She might go like, do you really, really want to get out of the prison? Are you sure? And then when we are sure and she gets that we're sure, she's going to release us. She's going to release us. And then when she releases us, it's not that she drops us and we are left in nothing. We're actually then, come under the protection of Krishna's guidance or Srimati Radharani's guidance. Like so, Durga Maya is also called Bahiranga Shakti. That's the energy, the material energy. And then there's a Ladini Shakti. We have Ladini Devidasi here. Ladini Shakti Devidasi. Like then we come under the protection of the great spiritual mother, which is Srimati Radharani. And there is an example from Srimad Bhagavatam, which I find really inspiring, that for me illustrates how Mother Durga, like she's terrifying. I mean, what she looks like. And she drinks blood and she has skulls and it's terrifying. And yet it's terrifying. It looks terrifying. There's a reason for it. It's so that the demons feel attracted to her, that they feel comfortable with her. And whenever there is someone, a devotee of Krishna with a pure heart, she recognizes, she knows, and she will use all her fierceness and all her ghastliness to protect the devotees. And the example it's in the 5th canto, the 9th chapter. It's when we hear about Jada Bharat. So Jada Bharat is in his previous life, he was a deer. He was a deer. He was in the body of an animal. And the life before, he was Bharat. He was Bharat Maharaj. He was the king, the ruler of the world. That's why India was called Bharatvarsha, because of King Bharat. So Bharat, he renounced his kingdom at the end of life and went to the forest to focus on Krishna. And then he saw a deer, and because he's soft-hearted and caring and doesn't want to see others suffering, he takes the deer and he takes care of it. And he becomes so absorbed, like he's completely in love with the deer, and he cannot think of anything else. And he starts to, not focus on Krishna, focuses on the deer. And then, like he's searching for the deer, and he trips and he dies. He leaves his body, and his consciousness is with the deer and not with Krishna. So he gets the body of a deer. And then after his life as a deer, where he remembers Krishna, he actually like a Krishna conscious deer. He took birth as Jada Bharat, as the son of a Brahmin, and in that role, let's say, as Jada Bharat, he pretended to be stupid. He pretended to be completely ignorant, and like he would confuse everything his dad said to him. He pretended, like his dad would say, "Wash your hands after using the bathroom." Well, they didn't have, after going, just wash, and he would turn it around and do it before. And so everyone thought Jada Bharat is just crazy and stupid, and he doesn't understand anything. He's not intelligent. And actually, Jada Bharat was pure in heart, and he was fully focused on Krishna with full attention, full absorption. And he didn't want anything to get in the way. He didn't want another life of being in the material realm. And so when his dad died, his stepbrothers, I think they said to go and like guard the fields at night, so no one can come and rob the fields. So he guarded the fields, and some bandits came, some robbers came, and they were actually searching for an animal, a human animal, to offer to Mother Durga, because one of the bandits, he wanted a son, and he wanted to approach Mother Durga to get the blessing of a son. And to do that, they decided, okay, we need to sacrifice someone. And they saw Jada Bharat and thought, oh, he's like an animal. He's a human being, but he's like an animal. He's the perfect sacrifice for Mother Durga. And they took him, and they washed him, and they prepared him, and they went to the temple. And they wanted to kill him in front of the deity of Durga. Actually, Bhadrakali was her name in that form. And as they were just about to, cut off his head, Bhadrakali jumped out of the deity to protect the pure devotee of Krishna. I'm going to read that verse because it's quite impressive. It's ghastly too, just as a warning. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam 5.9.18. Intolerant of the offenses committed, the infuriated goddess Kali flashed her eyes and displayed her fierce curved teeth. Her reddish eyes glowed, and she displayed her fearsome features. She assumed a frightening body as if she were prepared to destroy the entire creation. Leaping violently from the altar, she immediately decapitated all the rogues and thieves with the very sword with which they had intended to kill Jada Bharat. She then began to drink the hot blood that flowed from the necks of the beheaded rogues and thieves, as if this blood were liquor. Indeed, she drank this intoxicant with her associates, who were witches and female demons. Becoming intoxicated with this blood, they all began to sing very loudly and dance as though prepared to annihilate the entire universe. At the same time, they began to play with the heads of the rogues and thieves, tossing them about as if they were balls. So it's a very ghastly scene. That's what she's doing. And my husband is laughing. Terrible. And why is she doing it? It's to protect. It's to protect her pure devotee. And also as I was preparing, I was actually considering, shall I read this verse or not? And I'm going to share something, and Paramatma, you can stop me if you don't want to share it. So Paramatma and I, we have two daughters, and when they were small, we were just getting into Krishna consciousness, and so they were babies and toddlers, and we got Srimad Bhagavatam, and then there's the picture of Lord Nrsingadev. Lord Nrsingadev, he appears, and he does this terrible thing to Hiranyakashipu. He like takes out his intestines, and it's horrible. And I was looking at these pictures with my daughters, and Paramatma came in and said, "Why are you showing these terrible pictures to our children?" And yet, what was happening is that I am very protective to my children, and very aware of, and yet what I noticed with Lord Nrsingadev, my kids, they loved it. There was no fear in them. It's like, this is Krishna. Somehow their soul just got, this is Krishna, and there is some joy in seeing Krishna destroying evil, destroying the demons. There is some joy to the soul, like some relief of, oh, good, evil can be destroyed, and devotees, the pure heart, can be protected. So yeah, that's how I understand Kali jumping from the altar. It is ghastly what she's doing, and at the same time, it's in protection. It's in service to Krishna. It's out of love. It's out of love that she's doing that. And then, yeah, for me, some beauty comes into the scene. So, yeah, that's my understanding so far of Mother Durga. She wants us to wake up, and that's why all the miseries that we experience daily from our bodies, our mind, our neighbors, our nature, hunger, sleep, in all the disturbances that are there in our bodies, they are all here to wake us up. Mother Durga is directing all this to happen so that we wake up to the question, why am I suffering? Why am I suffering? This is not normal. It's not normal for us to suffer. That's like, it's just not normal. We've come to accept it as normal. We think, oh yeah, that's what happens. Yet for us as a living entity, as a spirit soul, this is completely abnormal that we are suffering. And Mother Durga, she wants us to get it. So she pokes us. She's described of having a trident, and she pokes us. Wake up, wake up. That's what she's doing. And when we're ready to wake up, she will protect us, and she will hand us over to the Great Mother that she's in service to, which is Srimati Radharani or Krishna. So I want to read a prayer to you that first of all really surprised me. I found a prayer by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he's praying to Mother Durga. So what I learned is don't pray to the demigods. And here's Bhaktivinoda Thakur praying to the demigod. And because of that, I want to read it to you. It was an eye-opening for me. And the prayer, well, it's a song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he sings, "O Goddess Yogamaya, O the Mother of the worlds, when will you be merciful to me and remove this veil of illusion? I have heard your glories in the Vedas and the Agamas. You imprisoned souls who have turned away from Sri Krishna in this world of birth and death. To the fortunate souls who try to turn toward Sri Krishna, you give liberation. You free them from fear and grief. O Mother, please be merciful to this servant. Please don't cheat him. O Yogamaya, please give him a place in Vrindavan." So that's Bhaktivinoda Thakur praying to Mother Durga, not to get some material benefit. He's praying, but what I'm getting is that Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he's so urgent about developing love of God and guiding us and inspiring us to develop love of God. He will just pray for help to anyone. And I get from that yeah, I can ask for help from anyone. I can approach Mother Durga, I can approach Lord Shiva, I can approach Lord Ganesha to help me understand Krishna, to help me understand what does it mean to serve Krishna, what does it mean to wake up. So that's Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prayer. And well, when I said before that Mother Durga is ready to release us and hand us over to the Great Mother Srimati Radharani, it could seem like, oh, there's a leap. What's the connection between Mother Durga and Srimati Radharani? And I'm going to read two verses to explain how come I make this leap or this connection. So this is a verse from Samohan Tantra. I don't know that verse, that Tantra, this text. I'm just really moved by the verse. And it says, "The name Durga, by which I am known," so this is Mother Durga speaking herself. "The name Durga, by which I am known, is Radha's name. The qualities for which I am famous are her qualities. The majesty with which I am resplendent is her majesty. That Mahalakshmi, Sri Radha, is none different from Sri Krishna. She is the dearmost sweetheart and the crest jewel of his beloveds." And there's another verse from Narada Pancharatra where Durga declares, "In my original form as the embodiment of the spiritual potency, I as Sri Radha reside in Vrindavan. I as Sri Radha reside in Vrindavan." So Durga Devi, she's a representative of Srimati Radharani here in the material world. And when we get out of the clutches, out of the realm of the gunas, then Ladini Shakti is in charge, the energy of Srimati Radharani. And Ladini Shakti is like the pleasure-giving potency, indicating that under that shelter we experience pleasure and bliss and happiness and joy, and none of the misery that we experience here in the material realm, in the prison house. So this could all seem like very far out and esoteric and like, yeah, what's that got to do with everyday life? I mean, that's what I'm interested. What can I take from these scriptures and teaching for my practical everyday life and endeavor to purify my heart and surrender to the teachings of Srila Prabhupada and the teachings of Sri Krishna. So what happened for me in the process of researching all of this is that I understood more clearly all the disturbances that I complain about, or that I go numb and just don't want to see, and better not to exist, better not to experience. They're all here to wake me up. And that helps me to be there for others. Like recently, my sister, she got diagnosed with cancer, and it's very painful for me, and it's very painful for her. She's suffering. And yet, having that perspective, this is happening for a reason. This is happening for my sister to wake up and understand, hopefully. And I can support her when I don't go numb and look away, to wake up and understand I am not this body. This place of suffering is not my eternal home. This is not normal. There is a different bliss. There's another way of happiness and joy that can be experienced when I turn back to my source, to Sri Krishna, and relate to him. And same with so many things. Like I can apply it to war. I can apply it to the concentration camp. Well, there's different ways, so many different ways for spirit souls to wake up. And sometimes it just needs like a really strong smash on the head to wake up and go like, something's wrong here, something's off. This cannot be eternal reality, this suffering. So learning all of this, I also feel really encouraged, because I can look at myself and my life and my journey, which will be like, oh, enthusiasm, and then, oh, discouragement, and then a constant discouragement. And having all this in my mind and meditating on it, I actually feel encouraged. Srila Prabhupada sometimes says, don't be encouraged, but don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged. And I know discouragement very well. So from all of this, I get encouraged. And also, I'm getting to understand that actually my contribution to less violence in the world can be to share what I'm learning here, what I'm learning from Srila Prabhupada and the scriptures, what I'm understanding. Like, so Vishnu, Krishna can give us liberation from the prison house, chanting his holy names. So that's what I can endeavor for myself in my own room, all by myself, and then with my family and with my neighbors and with my community, to share that knowledge with humility and like not keep it to myself, to have the courage to also speak up, to go to my sister and share some of that wisdom, to help her understand actually this cancer, it can be an opportunity, it can be a wonderful opportunity, and to find a way to share that with her so she gets my compassion and yeah, to get my compassion. Also, what I'm getting from Mother Durga is there are times to speak up in anger. There are times to just put a very fierce boundary. I can put it's important. I do coaching. That's one of my service to the world, my endeavor. And I have a client, and she's really struggling with her mind. And the first step was for me to help her understand that she's not her mind, like her thoughts are just thoughts. And then we were exploring how can she put up boundaries to her own mind. to put boundaries to my mind, in my experience, it takes fierceness. My mind will not just be quiet and no, so it takes fierceness. So that's what Mother Durga does. Like she gets angry and fierce to set boundaries, and I can take a little piece of that from her, and also put boundaries to protect what is dear and gentle and pure in myself and with others. Also, something else I'm taking from this is Mother Durga is ready to release her clutches anytime. Like any given moment, transformation is possible. Any given moment, we can just turn around, we can turn back to Krishna. And then Mother Durga releases her. We get released from the gunas, from the ropes, from our habits, from our entanglement. We don't need to. I was going to say we don't need to chant one mantra. Of course, chanting is very important, if not most important. Yet to turn back to Krishna, it's not dependent on anything. Nothing external. Like we can do that anytime. And Mother Durga, she will just immediately notice and she will release us. And I think I have a little drop of insight into that. I know that I can be in a very low place, distressed, confused, completely covered. I can go and sit at the harmonium and I sing one Maha Mantra and I feel like all the darkness is just goes. And I connect to the energy, to the mantra, to the holy name of Krishna. And then there's a space which is free from all the stuff that was there before. And maybe some of you have that experience too. So I'd like to end with a verse that we dove into on the appearance day of Srimati Radharani. So I'm going to go back to that verse and recite it to you. It's from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, and it goes: Ata eva sarva puja paramadivata sarva palika sarva jagate ramata. Ata eva sarva puja paramadivata sarva palika sarva jagate ramata. And the translation is: therefore Radha is Paramadevata, the supreme goddess, and she is worshipable for everyone. She is the protectress of all, and she is the mother of the entire universe. Hare Krishna. Thank you for listening. And I invite, the best part for me about giving class is the conversation at the end. So I invite you to share what is happening for you, listening, realizations you have, questions, additions, or corrections. Maybe you noticed that I twisted something. That happens. Yeah, I'm eager and happy to hear from you.
Thank you, Anandini. Hare Krishna. Thanks for your leading class, and any comments, sharing, questions, realizations anyone would like to express at this time. Badi Raj Prabhu.
I'm always making trouble. Hare Krishna. Yes. There is an apparent contradiction that I think to myself,
Okay.
I have no problem with. That on one hand, Lord Shiva is the greatest devotee of the Lord. And of course, Narayan. And it says here that even Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma are conditioned to the modes of nature, right? Something around those lines.
Yes, yeah, remember that.
So how do we reconcile that Lord Shiva can be covered as an ordinary person and or Brahma too, which we have various examples of those apparent misbehavior.
It seems like a contradiction. You're saying it seems like a contradiction.
It seems like a contradiction that I like to harmonize and reconcile. Or what it means that.
You're looking at me. Would you like me to respond?
Yeah, or
Hare Krishna. Well, my understanding, and I don't claim to have much realization, my understanding is that sometimes with Shiva and Brahma, we hear about them in their capacities as pure devotees, the head of sampradayas. Brahma's, we don't want to get into criticism of Brahma. He's the head of our sampradaya. Tendi Brahma Vidyadi Kavya, he received all the Vedas from Krishna from within the heart. And Shiva is the head of the Vaishnava Sampradaya, Vaishnavanam Yata Sambhu. And sometimes we hear about Brahma and Shiva in their capacities as demigods. And so it's like there's different rasas and tattvas. And so when we hear about them in their capacities as demigods, that's where it's like Shiva gets bewildered by Mohini Morti and Brahma Vimohan Lila. So in their capacity as demigods, okay, then I appreciate your question in the direction of discussion because we want to be conscious and careful to start criticizing. It's like so there's the capacity of demigods. Demigods are devotees, and they're not pure devotees, generally. And then sometimes we hear about them in their capacities as pure devotees and the head of Sampradaya. So that's kind of a resolution for me. Thanks for your question, Hare Krishna.
it's good. That's how I think.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question and the response. Rosa.
You were talking about the relationship between Durga and Radharani. May I ask about the relationship of Durga and Bhumi? And the reason why I ask is because when we talk about material nature, something I kind of got from this conversation is Maya Devi is representative of the three modes and how we can get entangled. But when I think about material nature, I think more of Bhumi. I don't know anything about Bhumi, but what I mean is I think about like the animals and the plants and how beautiful God is everywhere. Can you help me?
Okay, well, I appreciate your question. I like to put my mind there. Yeah, what's the relationship between Mother Durga and Mother Bhumi? Well, my understanding is Mother Bhumi is that's our Earth. That's this planet Earth. She's a goddess. Her name is Bhumi. And what we see as this beautiful planet with so much like water and the continents and the trees and the plants, the flowers, that's the body of Bhumi. Like our body looks like we have a head and two arms, legs, hands. That's what our body looks like. And Mother Bhumi's body looks like planet Earth. And she's referred to as Mother Earth. Like I got to know her as Mother Earth. Yeah, she has a motherly nature. She's taking care of us, and she's so benevolent to us. I mean, she has her boundaries. At one point, she will not give all her, well, it's described that Bhumi, when Lord Vishnu is not worshipped, when there's no yagya happening, she starts to withhold the vitamins and the minerals and what we actually observe happening right now. So that's Mother Bhumi. Yet she gives us so much so we can live and we can do so many silly things, and she will tolerate. And that's the goddess Bhumi who appears as the planet Earth. And then Durga, like she's managing the material energy, which is like more than just planet Earth. That's also the moon and the sun and Mars and Jupiter and Venus and all the planets and all the living entities and the nature on these planets. So she's she's in charge. Like Mother Bhumi is also under her control. That's my understanding.
Hare Krishna, thank you. I would also like to share something I read recently that really touched my heart, and I think it's applicable, if that's okay.
Yes, please.
Krishna book, chapter 86, prayers by the personified Vedas. I hit this paragraph and was like, oh, okay, hold on. This conception of the material world is very nicely explained by Srila Rupa Goswami, who said that renunciation of this material world as illusory or false, without knowledge that the material world is also the manifestation of the Supreme Lord, is of no particular value. The Vaishnavas, whoever are free of attachment to this world, because generally the material world is accepted as an object of sense gratification. Vaishnavas are not in favor of sense gratification, therefore, they are not attached to the material activities. The Vaishnava accepts this material world according to the regulative principles of the Vedic injunctions. Since the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the original cause of everything, the Vaishnava sees everything in relationship with Krishna, even in this material world. By such advanced knowledge, everything becomes spiritualized. In other words, everything in the material world is already spiritual, but due to our lack of knowledge, we see things as material. And then here's a really good example, right? The personified Vedas presented the example that those who are seeking after gold do not reject gold earrings, gold bangles, or anything else made of gold simply because they are shaped differently from the original gold. All living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord and are qualitatively one, but they are now differently shaped into 8,400,000 species of life, just like many different ornaments which have been manufactured from the same source of gold. And then I mean, chapter 86 is so full, right? But the next several pages kind of like go into this, and it's really good. That's page 641 in this version.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I get your enthusiasm and inspiration. It's contagious. And yeah, like is there a question you have to that or something you no you just wanted to share? Yeah.
Just sharing because I felt it was related with what you were saying about suffering, seeing the different things that happen in this world. But it's all Krishna, right?
It's all Krishna. Yes. Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. And I was in my preparation, at one point I got really confused. So there's all these if different energies and they have different names and the different, you know, emanations from different personalities, but then in the end it just all goes back to Krishna. So and I heard a class by Srila Prabhupada where he also like gave another example of like electricity. Electricity is an energy, and if we can say like so electricity, let's say that's the energy of Krishna. And then electricity can be used to like heat a house, or it can be used to cool down a house in an air conditioner. So it's the same energy as it's used for different results. And that helped me understand like the original energy, it's spiritual, it's Krishna. For Krishna, there's no difference. It doesn't go, this is material, this is spiritual. Like from his perspective, it's all his energy. And yet we from the other side, we see different, and it's important for us to make distinctions, because some of the energies, how they appear to us, they can bind us, like the material energy, and when we get close to it, we know we get attached to it. And then there's when Krishna's energy appears as like, for example, the Maha Mantra. Yeah, we can, by associating with it, we get attached, and it makes a big difference for our experience. Even though from Krishna's perspective, it's all the same, it's all his energy. So I appreciate that. Yeah, like all the energies are ultimately from Krishna, and Krishna is all love and benevolent and wants the best for each spirit soul.
Appreciating the discussion around, okay, so everything's Krishna's energy. I'm reminding of a verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita that Srila Prabhupada often references. Stavaraj and Gamadeki Paramurti, Saratra Haini to Istadeva Sporti. And it describes that everything moving and non-moving, everything is energy and energy of Krishna. So then that can become like a platitude. Everything's it's all one, everything's Krishna's energy. So it's true, but the question is, how much realization do I have to see Krishna everywhere? Andantarasta, Brahmanvachantarastam, in every atom, Ishvarasu, Bhutanam, Videsha, Dvinatishti, in the heart of every living entity. And how much realization have I, like what you shared on Nandini about distinctions? Because a vital principle is realization of how to relate to the diversity of energy. Sure, it's all Krishna, but how to relate to the diversity of energies in such a way where myself and everyone involved will deepen their enthusiasm for self-realization. And without that distinction, then the energy becomes Maya. Yesterday, Rosa hosted a Bhakti Yoga Enlightenment program at her home in Gainesville, Florida. And this was an aspect of the discussion that well, okay, so it's all Krishna, it's all Krishna's energy. So whatever I do is Krishna consciousness. That's not necessarily true. And an example we've often used is, okay, what is the vodka in the vodka bottle? I'll tell you what it is. It's Krishna's energy. Therefore, the more vodka I drink, the more Krishna conscious I become. It's just a logical conclusion. It's like obvious. Not so sure. Okay. So no, because so sure. So it is Krishna's energy. At the same time, probably the best way for me to relate with that energy is to keep a distance. So yeah, in a sense, nothing is Maya. Sometimes we'll hear like, oh, that's Maya, Prabhu. That movie is Maya. Nothing is Maya. Maya means that which is not. And everything is connected with Krishna. Now, to the extent that I'm not realizing how to connect everything with Krishna, but just sometimes that movie is Maya. Well, yesterday at Rose's house, we all watched the movie, the Nrsimha Mahavatar. It was a very nice movie about Lord Nrsimha based on Prabhupada's teaching. So everything is Krishna. Now, to the extent that I'm not seeing Krishna everywhere and how to relate to the different energies that bring me closer to Krishna, then it means I'm in mind. It means that my consciousness, that the consciousness, we are conscious and we are consciousness. So I just appreciate the discussion. Sure, so everything Krishna's energy, and it's so vital to cultivate the capacity to make distinctions. Otherwise, in the name that everything's Krishna energy, we can go to a sahaja type of mentality and not make distinctions and engage in all sorts of activity that actually alienates and degrades ourselves like that. So oneness with distinction. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you. I think we have time for one more comment or question. Yes.
Vivadi Raj's hand, just before we go there, if there's anyone else, Ramananda Roy Prabhu, since it's the first time we met, first time you're here, I'm eager to hear from you.
I have a question, and along the lines, because I was inspired to recall a feeling that I had 2 days ago when we were on the beach in St. Augustine.
Okay.
Because we had just come from a long drive and we made it to the beach and we enthusiastically ran towards the beach. The sun was shining, the sand was beautiful and white, and the waves, the water was warm, and I had a feeling of, wow, isn't it amazing that on one hand, nature, we can walk freely in nature and be provided with all the needs to support our life. But on the other hand, that same nature can be so vicious and so hostile. We come from Canada, and it can be, we see the difference.
Yeah.
In the summer and winter. It can be so almost embracing, almost feel completely free and like life is almost automatic. But on the other hand, it can be very hostile. We're practically
Severe, hostile,
yeah,
crushing.
crushing, and just almost as if to not support life at all. So it made me, and so in this discussion, made me consider the concept of the double-edged sword.
Mm.
You know, and I was just wondering if that would be an appropriate relation to the idea of making distinction. You know, it would be it's a sword, but you have to know the distinction between sort of the flat side and the sharp side, or I don't know what, you know. I just was thinking to explore that concept, and
I appreciate the ability that Srila Prabhupada uses the term of the razor's edge. The razor's edge, razor can serve and shave nicely, or it can cut.
yeah.
You can cut. Anandini, would you like to comment on Ramananda Roy's question?
Well, yeah, I have some things coming to my mind, but perhaps Ramananda Roy, you'd like to hear from Dhira Govinda, then I'm happy to, because you're looking at him.
Oh, well, I'm actually looking at you on this laptop.
Aha, okay.
You're actually in two places in the same room.
Yeah. Well, we were actually, Paramatma and I, we were having a conversation about, I think it relates to what you're sharing. Yeah, like nature can be so like beautiful and so nurturing, and at the same time it can just completely destroy. So it's both there. And we were speaking about, well, it seems like Mother Durga, when we, when we turn to Krishna, she will protect us, either by making sure we don't get the fierceness of her nature. Like she will, there might be like a fire and our house gets saved, or there might be an accident and no one's injured, or that's a way she can protect. And also we can be protected by not being affected. That we could be in a fire or in a war, and yet internally we're not affected by it. There's like many books, examples of personalities who were in concentration camp and they were just blissful, like experiencing the presence of God every day. It's inconceivable for me. Yet they are somehow protected. And so that came to me, and also that if we look at well, the example of Kali Yuga of our age came to me, which is, yeah, there's so much misery in Kali Yuga, forgetfulness, fights, wars, jealousy, envy, it's all there. And we participate in it as, like, if we come into this age, this circumstances, we participate unless we wake up and we become conscious and we surrender to Krishna. And like Srila Prabhupada, he's offering us, Lord Chaitanya with his movement, he's offering us like an umbrella. And if we take shelter under that umbrella, we are not affected by the effects of Kali Yuga. So yeah, that's my understanding, that Mother Durga, she's terribly fierce. And she can, like, water, a sea, a tsunami wave can just destroy, and you were having fun playing in the waves. So it's both there, and I trust that we are protected either by not experiencing her fierceness or not being affected or distracted by her fierceness. So that's what came to me hearing you share.
Thank you.
How's that sound to you?
Yes, it sounds very nice. Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
I appreciate your response, Anandini, and the thoughtful, thought-provoking question, Ramananda Roy. I'm saying, like, so like there are so many places in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna emphasizes so many ways to realize him in nature. And just to appreciate nature, that's sattvic. That's sattvic. And it's sattvic, and sattva is like, it's the mode of material nature that's closest to the soul. Mm-hmm. It's still material sattva. Shuddha sattva is full bhakti, full transcendence, but material sattva, it's still it's illusory. It's illusory. And so with like, and so the sattva can be a trap. Sattva can be a trap. So just like the water, this is so nice. And Krishna's, I am a body is the water, I'm the ocean. Vaso Mapsukonti, I'm the taste, I'm the light of the sun and the moon. So it's all, yeah, so it's, and it's at the same time, it can be completely destructive. So we're kind of encouraged as aspiring bhaktas, appreciate nature. And like this, like you have your nature, you have your nature, I have my nature, you have your nature. So wherever there's nature, there's a person whose nature it is. So to cultivate, okay, whose nature is it? And then we're like really on the path of transcendence. It's like it's an opportunity to appreciate Krishna. Srila Prabhupada talks about that, like in his purport to 7.8, where Krishna says, I'm the light of the sun, the moon. And he says, like, okay, the impersonalist will appreciate the energy. The personalist will, this is a chance to appreciate Krishna. And then that's our eternal auspiciousness. And because otherwise, with the beauty, there's going to be the destruction. And both are just like with material nature, or these own bodies, our body. And sometimes we'll talk about this body. It's just a collection of stool and bones and flesh, and like there's a place for that sort of discussion. And also, it's true. The body, it's whether it's the body, the universe, the tree, us. It's a beautiful, amazing machine, far more sophisticated than any computer like that. So both perspectives have their place. The ghastly perspective to help us cultivate non-attachment, and the beautiful perspective to help us appreciate what an amazing artist and scientist Krishna is. And because if we can appreciate it at the same time, this body, it's going to be food for worms, or like that. So we can appreciate and not get attached to it. Oh, it's matras porshas tu konti eshi toshna sukadukana. Krishna encourages to, okay, there's going to be happiness and stress. There's going to be, I remember actually probably the coldest cold I ever experienced was early in 2009. I was conducting a seminar in Edmonton, Canada. And it was where Fahrenheit and centigrade meet, like -39 or -40 or something. I was told by the residents there that it was the midst of a heat wave. Anyhow, just for fun, sometimes I would take a walk outside the seminar room, and I would. So sometimes it's going to be scorching, painful. Sometimes it's going to be nice weather, and the idea is to not get enthralled by it. Oh, this is I want nice weather like Florida in September. Sometimes it's going to be in any field. Sometimes it's going to be honored. Sometimes it's going to be insulted. Sometimes we're going to see forms that are beautiful, forms that, and the idea is to continue with bhakti, and that's why like nature is an opportunity to appreciate nature, cultivate the capacity to especially appreciate it as like, oh, I don't know. Just like we can appreciate a painter, we can appreciate a painting. And we're like, oh, I wonder what the qualities of that painter are. So to appreciate Krishna, and then it can be like a bridge from sattva to Shuddha sattva. I'm reminded somehow in the conversation, the analogy that Srila Prabhupada often uses of like the jaws of the cat. That's part of nature. The jaws of the cat representing death and its accompanying friends, old age, disease, and rebirth. And so that's all part of nature. There's like beautiful life, but also death and old age and disease and being stuck in a womb for 9. This is part of nature too. And so Prabhupada will ask, so what's the experience of the jaws of the cat? Nature. And what's the experience of the jaws of the cat from the perspective of the rat or the mouse? And it's terrifying. It's a nightmare. Crushing.
Imagine.
Yeah. And then same jaws of the cat. What's the experience of the jaws of the cat from the perspective of the kitten? Oh, that's right. It's nurturing, loving, protective, warm, sweet, shelter. So like it's like the whole process of Bhagavad Gita and Krishna consciousness, giving us an opportunity to more and more relate to nature, including its fierce, ghastly aspects, to relate to nature as a kitten. So those are some principles from Srila Prabhupada that come to mind. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. This came to my mind too, so I'm glad you shared. And we'll end here. I know like you're associating, you can continue to ask questions. I know there were other questions, like the lady in the pink sari, I think also raised her hand. So I know you'll have time. I need to go. So I'll read the verse again. This divine energy of mine, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Thank you all. Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
Anandini. Thank you, Anandini. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yeah, so we can continue here with prasadam and discussion and philosophy to whoever or whatever our hearts desire. Hare Krishna.